I will not let this republic be split in two. My negotiations will not fail.
If they do, there aren't enough Jedi to protect the Republic. We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
You know I don't like it when you do that.
Sorry, Master. I forgot you don't like flying.
Well, you've lost him.
If you'll excuse me.
I hate it when he does that.
Welcome back, Padawans. Yesterday was May the 4th be with you, and guess what? Today is Revenge of the 5th, which technically is reserved for Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, but we're going in order here, so why not keep things in order? We're 2 days in a row to discuss the next chapter in George Lucas's space opera saga, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Released in 2002 with our main characters returning, Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, which bring on the blantacular line deliveries again, man. Also Natalie Portman as Queen Padme, once again being bland as hell as well, but indeed sexy as can be. Samuel L. Jackson returning as Mace Windu, Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine, yes. Frank Oz providing the amazing voice for Yoda again, and then there is Hayden Christensen as an older Anakin Skywalker. We swapped out one bad child actor performance for another equally bad younger adult performance. At least George Lucas can stay consistent with another thing, having grotesquely bad performances come out of the character of Anakin Skywalker.
I promise you, I will even learn to stop people from dying.
As a young man, that is. But in any case, we're back to the prequels again. This time 10 years later after the events of the Phantom Menace, where there is still a rebellious confederacy forming to take down the Galactic Empire. And Obi-Wan investigates after an assassination attempt on the Queen and finds a clone army is being formed in service of the Republic, where we see Boba Fett's daddy-o, Jango Fett, playing a significant part in both the army and the assassination attempt. Little Boba Fett being portrayed once again with a what the frick child performance.
Your father here?
Yep.
May we see him?
Sure.
Anyway, Anakin, being Obi-Wan's little Padawan, is assigned to protect the Queen, but one thing is apparently clear: Jedis can't love. We already learned that they can't have friggin' emotions because of the Phantom Menace, but apparently they can't fall in love. They're basically monks. So off Padme and Anakin go to Tatooine, where they secretly fall in love, and it's like, uh-oh, spaghetti-o, what is to happen with the Jedi Council if they find out? On top of the fact that there is the Darth Sidious pulling the strings and could lead to a grotesque green screen civil war. For you Star Wars folks, you definitely know this is probably the worst film of the prequels specifically. The worst Star Wars film ever? I'm actually not sure about that. I have yet to see Solo, A Star Wars Story, or Rogue One, actually. But in my opinion, it actually ranks above The Rise of Skywalker for me. I'm dead serious. Just wait until I talk about that catastrophe. Here's why. Attack of the Clones certainly has its flaws, but the positives real quick about this one, having rewatched it after a long while, possibly 20 years, there are some sequences that are pretty decent, such as the chase in the beginning between Obi-Wan, Anakin, and the assassin, to the actual Clone War sequence, even though, God, you can see the green screen ridiculousness, and all the actors are doing whatever they can to act like they're fighting droids. But you know what I think is really cool about that sequence? Nope, it's not C-3PO's head on another droid for comic relief. It's Sam Jackson whipping out a frickin' purple lightsaber. Samuel L. requested the color purple for his lightsaber because why the fuck not? Some, if not most, Star Wars fans hate it, and I love it. Give Mace Windu his own personality, for God's sakes. Once again, a bounty hunter, Fett, is killed off way too soon, where we don't get to see enough action from this badass bounty hunter. With a nice decapitation though. But you know, the big thing is that at least there is a cohesive story happening here. We can see where the characters are going. We can see what is gonna lead to the next movement, what is progressing to the next thing, so we can get to the point of Anakin becoming the ultimate Darth Vader. But you know, boredom. The whole thing is so damn boring. Nothing of real excitement ever fully occurs with the exception of some lightsaber fights as mentioned. Not the moment when Yoda busts out his lightsaber and starts doing frickin' barrel rolls against Count Dooku.
Do a barrel roll! Do a barrel roll! Use the boost to chase! Use the boost to get through!
Played charmingly, of course, by Sir Christopher Lee. But my word, if anything, have Yoda just use the Force rather than a lightsaber, cause how do you explain the damn cane? How can he move so swiftly like that? Anyway, I guess we can all be thankful that Lucas did listen to the fans of The Phantom Menace asking for less Jar Jar. Please, less Jar Jar. Which he certainly achieved. However, that certainly does not stop Jar Jar being the actual cause of the downfall of the Empire by giving Palpatine all that power in the Senate.
As my first act, I will create a grand army of the Republic to counter the increasing threats of the Separatists.
God damn it. Lucas actually co-wrote the film with Jonathan Hales, who had worked on the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles with the producer, Rick McCallum. And quite honestly, the writing has gotten so much worse. Oh my god, the dialogue is atrocious! And Hayden, I believe he does the best he can with what he has script-wise, but also what he has in talent. Of course, the sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
And Obi-Wan never lets me do anything.
Overly critical? He never listens. He doesn't understand. It's not fair. It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back.
God, such a whiner. It's crazy to believe that Heath Ledger, Christian Bale, Ryan Philippe, Paul Walker, and Leonardo frickin' DiCaprio auditioned for this role. And Lucas gave it to Hayden Christensen because he and Natalie Portman looked good together? I hate directors sometimes. But folks, this was the film that went to the crazy degree of CGI with 2200 effect shots that editor Ben Burt referred to the process of adding in the CGI shots as videomatics, which was a long and strenuous process considering it was oozing with artificial effects. I can remember being a 12-year-old when I saw this in theaters and just thinking, yeah, this is just too fake. This is way too fake. The only real set that I can see before me is the bar where they're still chasing the assassin. This is why it remains a least favorable installment in this series of Star Wars because of an overlong plot that drags on with uninspired performances with sets that are just too much like tinsel in order to be really effective. However, once again, I say that to say at least, there was a beginning, middle, and end to this second chapter. It's always hard with follow-ups. It's always hard with sequels. So, once again, as a writer and as an artist, I gotta commend Lucas for doing whatever he could in order to take what the fans have given, but also make something within this prequel. So in all fairness, I rate George Lucas's Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, a C-. Once again, people got paid. A story was told. And that's what's important, right? Not really. But yes, the film still became somewhat successful, with grossing $649 million over its $115 million budget, receiving just one Oscar nomination for Best Visual Effects, which, I guess. The problem also is that another Chapter 2 of a big saga came out that same year with The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, obviously succeeding amazingly and is by far the superior film, as well as Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets came out that same year. Crazy! But, you raging Padawans, tell me, you must. What do you think of Attack of the Clones? Is it your favorite in the saga, or do you hate it the most? Let me know in those comments. Like, share, subscribe, and all that funny business. And thank you so very much for watching. As always, stay tuned for more to come indeed. And happy Revenge of the Fifth.
They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.